Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. So Solana broke below micro support, which means we have to watch for a potential change of structure. Even though the immediate upside structure is not technically invalidated, trading on the long side has now become more risky. So we want to talk about that. It would have been easy to just get an impulse in 5 waves as indicated in the wide wave count. But exactly because of that, we always wait for 5 waves up and then watch for 3 waves down to confirm that something bullish is happening. Until we have those 5 waves up and until we see the 3 wave pullback, we cannot confirm that a lasting low has been established anywhere. So yeah, it broke below micro support. It's not it's not really surprising given Bitcoin's weakness, but obviously we gave Solana the chance. But we always said that we can really only confirm that a lasting low has been established once we see a 5 wave move to the upside, followed by a 3 wave pullback as indicated in the wide wave count. Just change the colors on this chart. Change the colors because we are now breaking below micro support, below impulsive support. So the support for an impulse was at $21.60. We're going to zoom in a minute. A break below that level indicates that something else is probably unfolding. And I highlighted to you that we will talk about probably $15 as next target, maybe even new bear market lows if we break below that level. And I have now put onto this chart the yellow wave count, which is a wave count we discussed before. It still allows for the basically for a bullish scenario would just delay the rally. Okay, it would just delay the rally. So in this scenario, which I have to follow now, obviously we want to see how today unfolds, but I assume this white wave count is broken, and I assume it will not play out unless Solana can surprise now and really give us a 5th wave, and then we can always look for the first 3 wave pullback. But the impulsive characteristic of this move is now gone. So the yellow wave count, still suggests a wave 1 topped in January, but the move down afterwards was just a large A wave, overshooting B wave, and we can now come down in wave C. That's a wave count we discussed before, not as unlikely option because the move up here was not an impulse, only in 3 waves. Therefore, we can count it as a B wave, as a high B wave. Also showed you before that high B waves can overshoot technically by 1.38 of wave A, and that was exactly what it did. We talked about that before. Obviously now it's getting much more likely that this indeed was just a high B wave. Okay, the fact that Solana's bulls were not able to form 5 waves up here. So from that point of view, I have to see the move down as a wave 1 of wave C, the move up here as a wave 2, and the move down, which would follow as a wave 3, a 4, and a 5. This is the scenario we're now going to take a look at in more detail. But and the white wave count is not invalidated, but let's take a look at the yellow count now and how it could unfold. And also let's talk about if the white wave count still has a chance. So we have now zoomed in, and the move down of the July high is only a 3 wave move. I would really have difficulties to count it as a 5 wave move. So if yellow plays out, it would have to be a diagonal structure. Okay, so as a diagonal, they don't adhere very well to Fibonacci levels. So there is a good chance, at least, or a reasonable chance, that in the yellow wave count, we do not necessarily make a new bear market low. Okay, so we have to track this structure, however, very carefully. Now, back to the question, okay, does the white wave count still have a chance? Again, it's just not stopping, is it? And at the very latest, if we cut into the price region of wave 1 at $20.50, an impulse is completely invalidated. And it doesn't really look like a diagonal. Now, it can always surprise, that's always possible, but we always look for what is clear. If it can still give us a 5th wave, then we can always add the support region in wave 2. I'm not prepared to take the white wave count off the chart completely, but yellow definitely has preference. And if we take a look, and say, okay, wave 1 completed here in September. This was a wave 2 corrective rally, and now is a 3rd wave. And the 3rd wave would typically be an ABC structure. For next support levels, I am watching obviously $20.50, yeah, roughly in that region. $20.20 to $20.50 is going to be support. And then down there, micro support at $18.80 and $17.40. But we should, we should get to $15. If I'm looking at potential targets for wave 3 based on what I have, I mean, I've got the length of the wave 1, I've got the length of the wave 2, and then we can look for the 61.8 extension level as a key target, which is basically at $15 of wave 3. Okay. So this is what I'm tracking now. Depending on what happens now overnight, I will make the yellow wave count the primary, possibly, if we sustain below $21.60. I mean, something that is always possible is that wave 2 in yellow extends, okay? This is always a possibility. It would then form a larger A, B, C structure, but I will not be able to tell you that that's what's happening until I see a reaction in support and a first small impulse to the upside, because it would be an A, B, C. So the C wave would be a 5-wave move, basically. But this is not a reliable pattern. I mean, again, it would be A wave, B wave, and then C wave. And the C wave, once the C wave shows a first 1-2 setup, we can look at that, and it might reach still the $30 region. I mean, that's something that is always possible, but it's just nothing reliable, and it would still be very corrective. I mean, what most people are interested in understanding when the bear market has bottomed, and unfortunately, or when the bear market is over. And unfortunately, today's break of micro support has certainly delayed that clarity, okay? So obviously, yeah, I mean, if that is playing out, if you want support for that, ABC, it's typically not really a great trade, but if you're after a support area, roughly, we should expect support in the region between, well, $20 and $15. Well, it is sort of that $20.20 level that I mentioned, okay, the golden ratio, and $18.90. So if we break below $18.90, then the yellow wave count will even be confirmed further, okay? Now, that's not a reliable trade setup anyway, doing this ABC trade, right? It's not anything that you would normally rely on without further evidence. It can, of course, happen, but that will only get clearer once the probabilities unfold. So I'm still watching white, but basically starting to prefer yellow. As I made you aware, if we break below in micro support, we have to look for further downside into the possibly low $15 region, maybe even lower eventually. That's my update about Solana. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.